Docker is a tool designed to make it easier to create, deploy, and run applications by using containers. Docker is a tool designed to make it easier to create, to deploy, and run application by using containers. Containers allow a developer to package up an application with all of the parts it needs, such as libraries and other dependencies, and deploy it in a one package. By doing so, thanks to the container, the developer can rest assured that the application will run on any other Linux machine, regardless of the customized settings that machine might have, that could differ from a machine used for writing and testing the code. So Docker, for whom? Docker is a tool that is designed for benefit both the developers and the system administrator, making a part of many DevOps developers and operations tool chains. For developers, it means that they can focus on the writing the code without worrying about the system that it will be ultimately be running or not. It also allows them to get a head start by using one of the thousands of programs already designed to run in a Docker container as part of their application. For operation staff, Docker gives flexibility and potentially reduces the number of systems needed because of its small footprint and lower overhead. So this is the infrastructure, host operating system, then Docker container service running. Yeah. So infrastructure, operating system, you can install, you can run the Docker. So you can run the many containers. So many containers. Maybe a set of platform as a service product that uses OS level virtualization to deliver software package in packages known as a containers. Containers are isolated from each other and bundle their own software package, libraries, and configuration files. They will communicate with one another through well-defined channel. So Wiki says, what is a Docker? Docker is a container management service. The keywords of Docker are develop, ship, and run anywhere. So develop, ship, and run anywhere. The whole idea of the Docker is for the developer to easily develop applications, ship them into containers which we can deploy anywhere. So which we can deploy anywhere. So benefits of the Docker. So return on investment and price savings, standardization and productivity, CI potential, so potential, compatibility and maintainability, simplicity and quicker configuration, rapid preparation, continuous preparation and testing, multi-cloud platforms. So, architecture we already shown, right? Docker build, pull, run. No? So Docker daemon containers and images, build, pull, run. So Docker use cases, simplifying and configurations, developer productivity, server consolidations, multi-tenancy, code pipeline management, app isolation, debugging capabilities, rapid deployments. So virtualization versus containerization. So virtual machines, infrastructure, host operating system, hypervisor, we install the hypervisor, right? OVM, Oracle Virtual Machine. So then you install the OSS, then you install the libraries, means softwares, then you deploy the application. So right, but in the container, so infrastructure, host operating system, you can run the Docker daemon container. You can run as a container, guys. So Docker file. So a Docker file is a text document that contains all the commands a user may need to run the program line. To assemble a picture using Docker build, users will produce an automatic build that executes many command line directions in the suggestions. This page describes the command you will be able to use a Docker file. So from the Docker file, you can build the Docker image. From the Docker image, you can run it, run as a containers, guys. So Docker images. From the Docker file, you can use the Docker build command to build the Docker images. So from Docker images, you run as a container. You run as a container. A Docker image is a file so comprised of the multiple layers that as a execute the code in a Docker instrumentation. An image is basically what is this, guys? An image is basically engineered from the directions of a whole and workable version of an application that depends on the host OS kernel. What is a Docker Hub? Docker Hub is a service provided by the manual a laborer for finding and sharing the instrumentally pictures along with our team. It provides a subsequent major features, repositories, push and pull the instrumentally pictures, build instrumentally pictures from the GitHub or Bitbucket or push them as a Docker Hub. So Docker images and containers, Docker images and Docker containers. So what is the Docker image? Docker image is a read-only template used to create a container built by Docker users stored in a Docker Hub or your local repository. So Docker container, isolated application platform contains everything needed to run the application built from one or more images. So Docker registry. Docker registry is a storage component for the Docker images. So we can store images either public or private repositories. Docker Hub is a Docker's a very own cloud repository. Why use Docker registries? Control where your images are being stored. Integrated image storage with your in-house deployment workflow. And this is the architecture. So Docker run, Docker prerequisites commands, guys. Docker run, Docker start, Docker stop, Docker restart, Docker PS, Docker PS-a, Docker logs, Docker inspect, Docker images, Docker pull, Docker push, Docker RMI, Docker run commands, Docker registry commands. Registry means login. So Docker login to that Docker registry, logout from the Docker registry, Docker search from the Docker images registry, Docker pull a registries. Docker service command, Docker service create, service list, service scale, service logs, network commands, volume command, swarm commands. Yeah. So the ultimate basics is a Docker file and build the file as a Docker images. Then you can run as a container. This image you can use and you can run it on platform, any platform, either production or a integration or a development environment. So what is a Docker file? A Docker file is a simple text file which instruction to build an image. If we do not have the Docker file to build the image to run the container word by word by using the command line interface according to our requirements. But this Docker file helps us to provide an instruction on what needs to be pulled and what arguments need to be run after building the image and providing some configurations. Why Docker file? Docker file is used to create a clean images by removing unnecessary content from an image. Use it to execute as a is the simple steps to create and recreate images several times. So we'll show you guys. So this is the Docker file. So install, run this expose, right? Yeah. So how to install the Docker? Guys, how to install the a Docker. So this Docker, from Docker, there is a microservices applications, guys. So microservices, do you know what is the microservice? What is a monolithic or what is a microservice? So real world applications, monolithic architecture, monolithic architecture application and microservices. So monolithic architecture application means everything will be part of one project. Monolithic applications are very difficult to maintain. So before in the waterfall model, everything will be one project. So microservices, the whole functionality of the application divided into several sub-projects, which are easily maintainable. Set of APIs will be available, and every API is one application. So every API will contain one container. Example, Make My Trip is implemented in a microservice architecture. So flights is one API, trains is one API, buses is one API. So for example, I will show you guys. So in the real time, all are using the microservices. Monolithic means everything will be one container, but in the microservice based, products API, cart API, for example, e-commerce guys. So products API, cart API, payment API, tracking API. So everything will be as a microservice, as a container. So microservice based application make my trip, for example. So we have a category something like a flights, trains by this. So this is one microservice. We deployed one microservice. Trains is one microservices. Flights is one microservices. Guys, understood? So so monolithic architecture application and microservices. So from Docker, so we are using as a microservices deployment. Guys, understood? Guys, did you created the account? Sign up. You sign up the account for the Docker registry, guys. Docker Hub. So create చేశారు account.
Yeah, create.
Sir,
Create చేశారా? Okay, very good. Yeah, how to install the Docker? How to install the Docker? Install Docker because we need to start the Docker container if you want to run a containers. The service a Docker start. So user mod AG Docker easy to user. Just a simple install the Docker only. Run the Docker on your machine only. My account suspended. I don't know why it is suspended. The reactive your account, open the billing and cost management console and go to the payments page. After you pay all outstanding invoices by credit card, it may take up to 24 hours to reactive your account. If your account is suspended for more than 120 days, you cannot reopen the account or use it to access any access. In addition, all the your database account is deleted. If your account is not reactive 24 hours after you pay sending invoices, contact AWS support, logout, click here. One second, guys. have a Ramesh account. I can use it for today. Yes. Are able to see, right? Are able to see my screen or not? Instant launch instance. Docker server. Browse email. I want to use Amazon Linux too, guys. Then T2 micro. Proceed without key pair. Secure group everything. Launch instance. Instances. Yeah. So what you guys can do, you just this is your this is your machine, either virtual machine or a physical machine. So you install the OS CentOS 7. So install the CentOS 7, then install the guys. So you install the Docker, install the Docker and run the Docker service. So if you run the Docker service, then only we can run the containers. Then only so we can run the containers. These all are the containers. So in this part, Docker images. You have a Docker images. So Docker images, you can create your own Docker images, or you can download it from the Docker registry. So this is the Docker hub. What is this, guys? So this is a Docker hub. So in the Docker hub, already it's a public and private repositories. So private repositories. So you can download it. You can download the images from the. So for example, these are the images, guys. These are the images as images. So something like CentOS. Only you need a CentOS 7. Yeah, so you need a CentOS. Only you need a CentOS, or you can use the Tomcat also. Tomcat means CentOS with Tomcat. With the Tomcat. CentOS with the Tomcat also there. CentOS with Tomcat or something like Ubuntu with Tomcat. So these are the some of the images are public, some of the images are private. Right. You can download from here by using the Docker pull. Docker pull, you can download the images. So for example, your images will be here, Docker images. So by using the Docker images, you can run the containers. So by using Docker images, so you can run the a number of containers. So for example, a 3 microservice in our application having the buses. What are those? Buses, trains, and flights. For example, 3 modules. We have a 3 modules. Flights. So 3 modules contains 3 containers. 3 containers running as a 3 containers. Guys, understood? So this is a from Docker onwards. This is the microservice architecture. Microservice architecture. Guys, understood? Microservice architecture. Yeah. So I want to connect the server. Connected. I'm connecting through Web Connect. Yeah. So what is this, guys? Sudo yum update -y. Whatever the CentOS commands, right? The CentOS commands will be updated. Sudo yum install docker -y. Yeah, you see, guys, container D service is running. Container D service is nothing but a Docker service. Yeah, installed. So systemctl status docker. So inactive and dead. So you need to start the systemctl start docker. Dot service. Why? Systemctl status docker. So fails to start docker service. The name org feeds ktop policy kit 1 was not provided by the any service files. See system logs and systemctl status service for more details. Docker service, Docker application container engine. Let's see, guys. Sudo usermod -a capital G docker ec2 user. Okay, why it is not started? I got it. Sudo, you need to, before you need to give the sudo. Yeah, now it started. Yeah, Docker is running. So what is the issue? So I forgot to execute that command through as a sudo, right? So the Docker is running, guys. So now Docker is running. So OS is CentOS and Docker service is so running. The Docker service is running, guys. So then you need to check the Docker info. So Docker info. So the context default debug mode false. So Docker build X. So server error got permission denied while trying to connect the Docker daemon set. Sudo. Yeah, you see, you will get the everything. You will get it everything. Then Docker -v. So Docker version 20.10.25 is installed. So what is the version, guys? So version you can use. See the Docker info to see the Docker images executed below command. So what is the command to see the Docker images? Docker images. So get, oh shit, sudo Docker images. So is there any Docker images available, guys? So till now there is no images are available. So there is no images are. So something like how we can pull the image from the Docker Hub registry. So I think Docker hub.docker.com, right? The sign in. Mm, my account. Yep, guys, I want to change the password. Mm, I want to reset my password here. 1 second. Reset password. I got the mail. Reset password. Then you choose. What is the username? Yes, guys. I finally reset my password. So Hari Krishna 857. So we need to a login, right? A Docker a login. How we can a login? How we can communicate from? So from here to from Docker server. So from Docker server, I think we need to go to the security. We need to provide all the permissions, security groups, inbound and outbound rules. So go to the inbound, only we allowed, edit inbound rules, add a rule, custom, all traffic, 000, save the rules. And outbound also, I think we have all traffic, right, guys? Now I want to connect to my Docker Hub account. So what is the username? Docker Hub account, Docker login. Login with your Docker ID to push and pull the images from the Docker Hub. If you want to have a Docker ID, head over to the Docker to create a one. We have already. So what is the account, guys? Hare Krishna 857. What is that, guys? Hare Krishna 857. What is the password? Password is mm, mm, mm. Got permission denied while trying to connect the Docker Hub. Login. Paste. Password. Giving the password. Yes. So your login is succeeded. So your login is succeeded means you are able to connect to the Docker Hub and you can pull the, for example, I'm getting the public CentOS the 7 image. You guys see that? So these all are the community images, Docker images. These all are the Docker images, guys. These Docker images is in public. So I want to get this CentOS 7. So if you click here, Spack is a multi-platform package manager that builds and installs multiple versions and configurations of the software. It works on Linux, Mac OS, and many supercomputers. Spark is a non-destructive installing a new version of the package. Something right, guys. Spark is installed along with this CentOS 7. Okay. So this is the information, guys. This is the information. So yeah. So I want to copy this docker pull command. So what is the docker pull command, guys? So to pull the docker images, to pull the docker images, or else something like docker pull hello world. Yeah. So this is the simple one, guys. Just so we can get the hello world and so paste it. So docker pull hello world. Yeah, shit, guys. So if you use the easy to use, definitely you need to. Yeah, guys. So you can see using default tag latest and the latest pulling from the library hello world and the pull complete. So digest and the status download a new image for the hello world latest docker.io library hello world dot latest. So this is the path, guys. So where it downloaded docker.io library. So local.io library, then hello world dot. So then hello world. Right, understood? So Docker images. Now you can search the Docker images. 1 second, guys. Guys, back. Someone is knocking the door. Yeah. So sudo. Yes, you need to add the sudo because of you're running as a EC2 user. Sudo docker images. You see, guys. So hello world. Repository is from hello world. Tag is latest. Image ID. So when we download the images, we have a image name, hello world. The tag is latest, and the image ID is this is the image ID created 13 months ago. So what is the size, guys? Size is so 13 KB only. So what is the hello world size, guys? Or if you want to download the CentOS, right? Just CentOS. So Dockin CentOS 7. So I don't know what is Dockin, but let's download, copy. Sorry, guys. Sudo paste sh- sudo. You see, guys, it is downloading. Docker pull. So Docker pull CentOS 7. So tagging is latest one. Pulling from Dockin CentOS 7. Pull complete. So this is from CentOS 7. So now you can check the Docker images. Sudo Docker images. So sudo Docker images. So this is also CentOS 7 2 hours ago. So what is that size, guys? What is the size, guys? So what is the size of the CentOS 7? Guys are able to hear or not? What is the size of the CentOS 7 image? Hello,
398 MB.
398 MB, right? Your CentOS template. This is hello. Guys are able to hear, right? Hello, guys are able
Yes,
to
bro.
hear.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So we have a 398 MB. So so we have a 398 MB, right? So the hello world is something like a 13.3 MB. So
KB.
13 KB. Sorry, right? So now you understood. So the Docker images so will be your application plus your image OS and libraries. So within 1 GB only. So within 1 GB only. So now we are getting the images from the Docker Hub. Later we will discuss how we can create our own Docker images, and we have a two types of repositories, guys. I think I forgot to mention in the GitHub also. GitHub also we have a two types of repositories. One is public repository, so the other ones are the private repository. You create it as a private repository. If you give the permission to the some other people, then only the people can access. Otherwise, they cannot access the private repository. A public means everyone can access public repositories. So everyone can access public repositories. Guys, understood? Guys, understood or not?
Understood.
Guys, speak out, guys. So Docker images. To see the Docker image, to see the Docker images, right? So this is the Docker images. Yeah, we install the CentOS 7 instance. This is the instance. So this is the instance. So this is the instance CentOS 7, and we installed the Docker and started the Docker service. Then we downloaded the Docker images by using the Docker pull command through the Docker Hub. Then first we need to get the communication by using the Docker Docker login. So to communication between Docker Hub and the your your Docker server. So then you can Docker pull. You can pull the pull the images from the Docker Hub. Right, then we need to start the container. Start run as a container. How you can run as a container? So what is the command? Sudo docker run. So what is that run? So from the image you want to run as a container, you can use the docker run command. So docker run. So what is the name of the container? Or you can use the image ID also. Image ID if you want to run via image ID or a image name. Hello world. So from the Docker, this message shows that your installation appears to be working correctly. To generate this message, Docker took the following steps. The Docker client connected with the Docker daemon. The Docker daemon pulled the hello world image from the Docker hub. The Docker daemon created a new container from the Docker image. What is that? The Docker daemon. So the Docker daemon is through the Docker daemon. So we can create a container from the image. So what is this, guys? Hello from the Docker. This message shows that your installation appears to be working correctly. Yeah, you installed the Docker. It is working correctly. To generate this message, Docker took the following steps. So what step the following? The Docker client connected to the Docker daemon. Yes, the Docker client is connected to the Docker daemon. The Docker daemon pulled the hello world image from the Docker hub. Yeah, we pulled the hello world image from the Docker hub. The Docker daemon created a new container from that image, which runs the executable that produces the output of your currently reading. Because of it is running, right? The daemon created a new container from that image which runs the executable that produces the output of your currently reading. The Docker daemon streamed that output to the Docker client, which sent it to your terminal. So to try to something more ambitious, you can run an Ubuntu container with the Docker run -it Ubuntu bash. So you will get the Ubuntu container. You will pull the by running the run command. So we can pull the image and we can run the image. So,
That you can try prompts. Yes.
please guys, Panindra, mute yourself first. Right? So now how you can check the containers. What is the command, guys? Docker ps. What, guys? Sudo docker ps container sudo ps hyphen. Yes, guys. So this hello world, hello, 2 minutes ago it is excited, guys. So this is the hello world docker image as a container, running as a container. So what is the container id? Everything. So it will get the image id, container id. If you run through the container id, so if you use the through the container also we can use it, guys. So docker info, docker images, docker pull, docker run, docker ps. Now you understood, right, guys? Guys, understood or not? Docker ps to display all the running containers. To display all containers, docker ps -a. To stop the container, docker stop container id. To remove the container, docker rm container id. Remove stopped container and unused images, docker system pwn -a. What is that, guys? I want to stop the docker sudo docker stop container id. What is the container id, guys? So this is the container id. Copy, paste. Yeah, so docker is stopped. I want to remove the remove the docker docker rm command. So docker rm is to remove the docker. Sorry, sudo docker ps -a. -a means all. process states. You see, guys. So Docker is the container is removed. The container is remove the container. As in, so Docker sudo Docker images to see the images, right? Sudo I want to remove the Docker images. Sudo Docker RMI remove images. You can use the image ID, image ID or a image name. Docker sudo Docker images. You see, one image is deleted. One image is how to remove the container, how to remove the images. So Docker RMA is for removing the images. Docker RM is for removing the containers. Docker images is nothing but it will list the images. Docker PS to display all running containers. To display all the containers. Docker PS-a to stop a container. Docker RM remove the container. Remove stopped container and unused VMs. So Docker system -a. Docker commands. So to display the all running containers, Docker PS. To display all containers, Docker PS-e. To stop the container, Docker stop. Remove the container, Docker RM container ID. Container ID. Guys, understood? So Docker info to see the info, Docker images. To see the Docker images, execute below command, Docker images, pulling hello world, Docker pull, see Docker images, running hello world, Docker image, Docker run, and hello world. So create in Docker Hub account you already created, right? So these are the commands. Guys, understood? Yeah, we'll run the another application. In second, wait, I will show you. We can close this, guys. Yes, guys. To run the something like I want to run a allow something like a CentOS 7. So Docker sudo Docker run. So what is the image ID? Image ID is this is the image ID. Copy, paste it. So we can paste it. Unable to find the image. Latest locally. Error. Sudo Docker run. Docker pull access denied for the repository does not exist. So that is not existed. Sudo Docker run docking slash CentOS -7. Full access is denied for this Docker image. Repository does not have or many requires Docker login. So Docker login is here, right? So it is denied from the. It is denied, guys. It will come. It will come. So yeah, I want to run it. Docker image will show you guys. Now you understood, guys, Docker, how to images under containers, run as a containers under Docker info, Docker version, Docker stop, start the images, everything, right? So Docker file creation and tag creation. So 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 I want to create my own Docker images. I want to create my own Docker image and create the tagging. So from Ubuntu or from CentOS 7, run echo run 1, run 2, cmd echo from image, cmd echo from latest, run echo from run 3. So you don't know, right, guys, what this is from, what this is run, what this is cmd in the Docker file. So we'll discuss, guys, no worries. So from the my first image, Docker image, Docker build -t my first image. So I want to create a tag. So Docker tag my first image, something like Hare Krishna 5857, right? So this is the tagging. So this is the image tagging, guys. For this is a building the image. So this is a building a image. This is a tagging. So this is the tag creation. This is the build something like image creation. So we'll show you from tomorrow, guys, how we can create the a Docker file. So we have a so how we can build it, how we can push it to the Docker Hub repository. We'll show you tomorrow. So Docker file creation. So we'll show you what is from, what is maintainer, what is copy, what is add, what is runs, what is CMD, what is entry point, what is env, what is label, user, work directory, expose, volume. So we'll show you, guys. Everyone will show you the meaning of everything and the syntax, everything and syntax and example. We'll show it to you, guys. Okay. Yeah, guys. So we'll continue from tomorrow. So you guys can install the Docker and download any one of the and log into the Docker Hub registry. Then you can pull the images and you can run the images, guys. Okay, guys, got it?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. So we'll continue from tomorrow.
బ్రో ఈ వీక్ లో ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఎప్పుడు వస్తారండి?
ఈ వీక్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ కి ఎందుకు భయ్యా?
అశోక్ బ్రో మాట్లాడారా? మాట్లాడాను అన్నారు.
ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే. ఆ రెజ్యూమ్స్
దాని
అప్లోడ్
గురించి
చేయడానికా?
మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. మీరు
సరే.
ఉన్నప్పుడు వద్దాం. వినయ్ బ్రో కూడా వస్తా అన్నారు.
ఓకే ఓకే. అయితే సాటర్డే సండే ప్లాన్ చేయండి. ఓకేనా?
ఓకే.
సరే.